want to look at the Nigeria equity market, to review the market, to look at the top gainers and the top losers. To shed more light on this, we're being joined by Peter Sunday Adebola, who is the Managing Director, Capital Managing Limited, and is also a member of Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers. Peter, glad to have you join us on Market Insight this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
As someone who has been monitoring the market, let's start with what played out last week. The market closed on Friday with investor recording a loss of about over 200 billion naira. How do you react to this? What might likely play out this week with this development that you've seen now? The interest rate has been increased. What might likely play out in the coming week as regards the record that may be the results that may be achieved in the coming week? What do you think might likely play out in the market?
Okay. Despite the fact that the interest rate is still high up there is also a time for the market to adjust to these new developments in the economy. So if you look at equity markets gives a return that is much higher than every other asset in the market. When we talk about the fixed income securities and we also talk about equity investment, the return on equity investment is usually higher than those of other fixed income because the risk attached to it is also higher. And there is a saying in investment that the higher the risk, the higher the return. So you observe that market needs to sit down and look at the fundamentals of some of the companies that are quoted on our exchange to see what are the growth potentials in all these companies. And during that adjustment period, you are going to see that market begin to adjust and see that despite the increase in interest rates, then there is still growth potential for some of the stocks in the market, and you see investors coming in again, and you are likely to see the market may also adjust and the prices may start going up again.
All right, quickly, let's look at the top gainers for the week. You have Burger Paints PLC, you have Regency Assurance PLC, you have Nestle Nigeria PLC. I would like you to talk to us about what is peculiar about these companies and the fact that they are top gainers for the week. About the top 5 now. We're looking at the top 5 or the top 6 now. The top on the table, you have Burger Paints PLC, Regency Assurance PLC. Now, talk to us about the top gainers for the week. What are the peculiarities and what led to these?
Okay, what happened to most of the top gainers last week is that some of them have actually declared dividend to be paid for this year, and the register has not been closed for some of them. So what happened is that investors, after they've collected dividends from some of the stocks that have declared dividend and have paid their dividend, they are looking at all other stocks that have now declared dividend but have not closed their register. So that's why you see investors moving to some of these stocks, like the likes of Julius Berger and others. That's why you are seeing investors moving to them. And also, there are some of these stocks that are listed that are under gainers that you see some strategic investment being taken place in some of them. And that's why you see the demand for these stocks going up and their prices make the top gainer last week.
Interesting. It often said there are two sides to a coin. We have the top gainer. So let's also look at the top decliners. You have DCM and Trust PLC. You have FTN Cocoa Processor PLC. Now, if we look at the 6 companies who are in this category, I would also like you to talk about their peculiarities and what led to this performance during the week.
Okay, thank you very much. You see, the way investors take their position and make their decision is that anytime there is any policy within the economy, so the investors, they make their decision that, okay, where am I going to get better returns on my investment? So some of the stocks that you see under decliners table, those are the stocks that investors look at them and say, okay, what can I get? Do I have, can I get better returns in all these ones, or I should just move out of the position I've taken there and take position in other stocks. So that's what you saw playing out in some of them last week, because like most of them in the decliners table, they didn't actually declare dividend for this year. So there is no return to investor. So what they need to do is out from some of those stocks and look for other that are yet to pay their dividend. That is not to say that all of them in the decliners table are like that, but most of them are either they declare the dividend that they have paid, and investors look at it that what more can I get, other than to shift my position to all other stocks that can give me better returns. And that's what we saw in some of them on the decliners table last week. But for some of them that are still there, they have growth potential. And just as I said, the market may adjust and we'll see them coming back, maybe today or during the week.
All right, let's wrap up with this. Give us a picture of the trends in the market now, and for those who want to invest, what would be your recommendation?
Okay, if we look at the current situation of the market, the situation right now, you know, there are so many events taking place in the market. One of them is the capitalization or recapitalization of the banks that CBN just came up with. So we are going to see a lot of right issues taking place in the market moving forward. And what that means is that you are going to see a whole lot of activities in the primary market moving forward, because some of these banks, in order to increase their capital base, they need to come to the market to actually raise capital. So you are going to see a lot of primary market activities in the market moving forward. And not that alone, this is the month of May. By next month, you are going to see some of the companies releasing their half-year results, which is going to come up maybe early in Q3. And when this happens, you are going to see that investors, because some of them, despite the fact that they declare final dividend, some of them still pay interim dividend by the time they release their half-year results. This is very common among the banking sector, which are the major drivers of the market. So you are still going to see investors' appetite, looking towards some of these banks. I'll give an example. If you look at a bank like UBA this year, they declared the dividend of 2 naira 30 kobo as final dividend, and the stock is selling as at Friday, it was selling below 20 naira. So investor will look at this type of stock and analyze it and see that there is opportunity in it, and you may see the investors' preference going towards it. The same way, if you look at Zenith Bank, this is a bank that paid dividend of over 3 naira this year. They're going to see that investors' appetite will have to move to that. However, this is not the only thing that drives investors' decision. They also look at possibility of having capital appreciation. So now, some of the stocks that are going to come for right issue, people would like to look at what are likely going to be their right offer, and that is going to affect the market prices. If they look at what the market prices are now and what the right prices are likely going to be, it may affect the way they are going to decide on whether to buy them or to wait for right issue to buy. This is what you are going to see playing out in the market moving forward. Not that alone, it depends on the happens in the economy as well. We got information that Dangote said in Kigali that there's going to be the gasoline be supplied within the economy in the incoming months. So we are waiting to see that. And if that happens, it's going to also impact positively on the economy, of course, and it's going to also affect the market positively as well. So if all these events begin to take place, it will affect the decision making of investors of where to shift their preference to in the incoming week and in the incoming days.
Right, Peter Adebola, we must appreciate you. It's quite interesting having this conversation with you, giving us insight into what should be expected in the market in coming weeks. Thank you so much for your time and your submission, Peter.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
All right, on that note, we'll call it a wrap on Market Insight for today. Don't forget this conversation continues on our social media platform, and you can also do a catch-up of this program on our YouTube channel. It's still Market Insight. Market Insight will return tomorrow. I am Femi Ayodele. Bye for now.